Yes. Uh-huh. Now I'm just kind of looking through the Bible, Matthew 22. Yes. Now, in verse 18, Jesus perceived their wickedness, and said, Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he saith unto them, Whose is this image and superscription? They say unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things which are God's. And when they heard these words, they marveled, and left him, and went their way. The same day, yes, came to him the Sadducees, which say that there is no resurrection, and asked him, saying, Master, Moses said, If a man die having no children, yes, his brother shall marry his wife, and raise up seed unto his brother. Now there were with us 7 brethren. And the first, when he had married a wife, deceased, and having no issue, left his wife unto his brother. Likewise the second also, and the third unto the seventh. And last of all the woman died also. Therefore in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be of the seventh? For they all had her. Oh my gosh. Jesus answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of God. For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have ye not read that which was spoken unto you by God, saying, Yes, yes, yes. I am the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. Now, it looked like there was this cultural norm back then. Yes. That if I were to marry a woman and I were to die, yes, my brother would get her. And there were 7 brothers. Ouch. And she didn't have a whole lot to say about this relationship. No. Now, maybe they made this up, or maybe this was how it was during that time. Yeah. And for some reason, none of the actual brothers conceived any children. Yes. Now, did she have anything to say about this relationship? Hmm. Now, it looks to me that the Sadducees wanted to say that something was going to happen in the resurrection. Let's say that you have a parking space. But for a lot of those in corporations, yes, where they get to park is a kind of perk for being employed in a corporation. Yes. But there are a lot of parking lots, aren't there? Yes. And you can make a lot of money on a parking space. I did a little evaluation on what I would say are parking garages, but they're not an actual garage. No. They're parking spaces, yes, that I can make out of recycled garbage, that are approximately the half of the weight of concrete, yes, but equal to the strength of concrete. Now, let's say you're involved in business. Yes, you're in New York City, Los Angeles, Seattle. And there's a shortage of parking spaces because what we have done is we've used parking lots instead of parking spaces. Now, a lot of people, they make securities out of what is known as parking spaces. Yes, they do. And you, Jeannie, decided that you would make structured, collateralized securities. Now, back in the day of the credit crisis, we had what was known as quants. Yes. Super geniuses that would oftentimes program different types of computers. Yes. To do the risk analysis of different types of investments. Yes. And then there was what's known as mortgage backed securities. Right. Now, the mortgage, yes, could be the actual loan on a parking lot that has parking spaces where you lease the space or you actually purchase a space. Yes. Now, I gave this example of Poland. Yes. Could you call those in the government of Poland? Yes. Now, as a father, yes, I have the ethnicity of being Polish. Yes, it does. And my grandfather, Edward Budnick, that was deceased in 1988, had a little place in Yuma, Arizona. Yes. Why don't we call the sheriffs of Arizona? Because I emailed them. Now, I could be missing a large amount of assets, yes, that I could be investing, yes, in parking lots that lease, yes, spaces that happen to pay quite a bit of money for one of those parking spaces. Pooey. Now, let's say I got upset today that nobody, yes, recognizes my rights as a little F father, yes, because my little S sons, yes, were kidnapped and abducted from me. I would go through the actual ownership of parking lots, yes, that lease parking spaces, yes. I would purchase those parking lots, and then I'd put two, three, or four times the number of spaces so as to provide the necessary amount of parking. Now, when you think about structured finance, excuse me, Aladdin, could you go through all the mortgage-backed securities, the collateralized mortgage securities of all the parking lots? Yes, they did. That happen to be able to be in structured finance. Yes, it did. Now, let's think about a parking space in a parking lot. Because I did a rough guesstimation about how much it costs in large municipalities to be able to lease a parking space in a parking lot because you work in a corporation. Now, some of these parking spaces, yes, you might pay $500 a month for a parking space in a parking lot. Now, at maybe 25, 30 spaces, yes, at $500, that would be 500, $15,000 a month times 12. Oh, 150, $180,000 a year for just 30 spaces in a parking lot in an inner city where you work in a corporation. Now, let's say I made four. Oh, well, you have the original 30. Yes. And then I put in some recycled garbage parking spaces that double, triple, quadruple. That would be 120 spaces. Yes. And that would be one time 180,000, two times 360, four times, ooch, three, four, 540, five times. You know, there could be a lot of money in parking lots. Yes. Could you run through all of the parking lot properties? Yes. That have actual lending involved with them? Because I'll tell you now, I'm thinking, yes, of tripling the number of parking spaces in inner cities where you decided to use structured finance. Now, I know you'd say, why don't you get me the parking lots 20 miles down in the actual ownership? Yes. And then every person that signs an agreement to lease a space in each and every parking lot, I'd like to know the signatures of those that are so important that they have to have a parking space to be able to work in the city. Now, let's say you're an attorney. Shut up. You're one of these attorney firms. No, it's not. No. Let's say that I decided to, well, could I get some finance?